What's good, y'all? Child, let me tell y'all something. Y'all was not gonna let me live, let me get away without not giving y'all P-Valley from Sunday. The real reason why I waited until Thursday is because I just ain't felt like reviewing those shows, to be honest with you. But I figured, I'll just go on ahead and do it Thursday since I got to do it Thursday anyhow for the sake of marriage boot camp. And I wasn't even gonna do y'all like that because y'all was cussing me out in my DMs. Where's P Valley? Where's P Valley? You finna do P Valley? Yeah, bitch, I'm here to do P Valley now. So this was P Valley from Son to Child. This is episode 6, Legacy. So Mercedes and Autumn was making their rounds, getting their money and things like that. And of course they did they different looks, child. They went from Baps to Autumn being rough and tough and her afro puff, and I was all here for it because that afro was everything, honey. Shout out for that afro. So Mercedes goes to see Terica while she's playing tennis, and Terica lets it be known that she never wanted to dance. All she wanted to do was to be around her. And that's normally the case. And I could tell she never really wanted to dance like that. Like, you could tell in the previous episodes when we did see her dancing, her face was just like over it. Like, girl, it's too hot. I don't feel like doing these squats, these death leaps, death drops, whatever the hell they call them. These splits, these ankle stretches. Like, girl, I just ain't got no time. I can't have no parts. And it's sad because, and I get it, Shell doesn't want Terica to be disappointed again, because I totally get it. I've been there. Listen, I haven't seen or talked to my birth mom since I was a child. You understand me? So I totally get the feeling of not being wanted, even though I was wanted with my mother and, my dad and my brother and my family, but it was still that part of me that was just like, well, why she don't like me? Why she don't want to be around me? Why she always say she coming or she calling? And, I don't hear I don't hear from her. You know what I'm saying? I don't see her. She's never around. So I totally understand why Shell feels the way that she feels. But at the end of the day, don't listen. If a person is trying and you could totally see that she is trying, there's nothing wrong with giving her that chance. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not as if she doesn't want her daughter, because if she did it, she wouldn't be doing what she's doing now, trying to get her daughter back. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. I just understood where Terica was coming from in that moment, and it made me all like, baby, I get it. I so get it. Like, I honestly just wanted to lay her head on my titty and let her know that it's gonna be all right. So Lamarcus, aka Lil Murder, but Lamarcus, meets up with Kishana to talk about what she saw between him and Uncle Clifford. And she doesn't want to bribe him. She just wants to continue the momentum that they have going on. And I said, I know that's right, Mississippi. M.I. Crooked letter. I'm all here for it. I would do the same. Like, look, I don't give a damn who you lay down with. If you make an Uncle Clifford happy, I'm all here for that. But we could go on ahead and capitalize on this momentum that we got. And then she shows him his phone where both of them actually was picked up on World Star Hip Hop. So I totally get what Kishana is doing, and I'm all here for it. And I love the fact that she won't dare to try to bribe him for, or pay me for my silence like most of them bumhoes probably would have done. So Loretta Devine done got her another role, girl. Loretta Devine is playing the role of Uncle Clifford's blind, can't see, senile ass grandmama. And she's in the living room dancing, getting high. And he lets her know what's going on with the pink. Now, from what it sounds like, either she had the club before she gave it to him, and it was some type of juke joint where people will go and dance and have a good time. And, technically, he still turned it into the same thing, technically, except, these girls get paid for their services. But, I mean, dance is dance, and it worked for a little while, but then you got these crooked white people, and then you got these Uncle Toms that's working for the white people and not for they people come along and just mess up the thing for everybody. Ain't that always the case? Moving on. So Big L goes to see a neighborhood drug dealer to hold a supply to help him bring in some money for the club. Now, I was all here for that part, but what I won't here for, and don't get me wrong, he was a cute white boy, but I don't want to see no more little dicks coming down to P Valley. I just don't. Now, maybe some people don't consider his dick little, girl. That's fine. I'm a size queen, so it's love to me. You understand me? So before y'all get in my comments, oh, it ain't little. He had a little We all have preferences, okay? All of us have preferences. Some like big, some like love, some like in between. I want a Titanic. You understand me? I want a cruise ship. You understand me? I'm not one of them girls that live by the motion of the ocean. No, God, honey. But he was a cute white boy. And I understand why them ladies was sitting up in there butt naked. See, because from what I heard, from what people told me, a lot of drug dealers who have women that do that, they prefer to be women so that they don't have to get no evidence on it. Now, I'm not saying I know drug dealers. I'm not saying I know drug dealers. What I am saying is, before y'all ask, that's why a lot of them was naked, so they don't get no residue or nothing like that all up on their clothes. They don't need no evidence or paraphernalia linking back to the place. Not that I know any drug dealers. We just gonna move right on along. So Eloise comes to the nail shop and Uncle Clifford is there waiting for her and getting her nails slayed because she got a nasty piece of date with Lamarcus later that night. And we find out that she was once a stripper at the Pink. Not only was she once a stripper at the Pink, she was one of the first ones to make it up out of there. And he lets her know if she has any tea that she needs to spill, lukewarm or hot, she need to go on ahead and spill it. And I'm all here for it. Like, girl, look, I know your humble beginnings. So before you try to be up amongst these pretentious little white people down to the city hall or whatever, girl, don't forget who gave you your start. Because I hate when people do that. I really do. That crawls under my skin. I hate when people do that. Anyway, Mercedes and Autumn are at the diner, and Autumn gives her money to get her car out of the impound so that they could split up so that they can get more money, at one time. And Autumn gives Mercedes some really good advice about how to better have her damn money. And Mercedes, don't ever in your life give your mama no more of your damn money. And Andre comes in and Andre pays for their food, which was very nice and very sweet and very kind of Andre. Excuse me. Thank you, Andre. Y'all know I like me some Andre with his chocolate ass, girl. Anywho, Andre goes to Corbin and his brother's house to sign the papers, but Corbin doesn't want to sign because he wants to keep the land and the family. Wayne pulls out a gun on Corbin and he signs it. I'm going to skate by that because that part really made my blood boil on a totally different level, and I don't know how nobody else felt about that, but I know how I felt about that. So before I let my pressure run high, we just gonna skate on by that, and we can talk about that down in the comments where I won't be so upset. Uncle Clifford invites Lamarcus over to dinner, and I really love that scene. Baby, Loretta Devine hair was laid to the gods, and it wasn't only her hair either, because Uncle Clifford hairs was slayed to the gods. Do you hear me? Slayed to the gods. And I was all here for it. Keshana sees Autumn going to Mercedes' old locker, and she shows her the pink and black gun, and she gives her the combination to it. Yes, God. Basically, what people are saying to you, Keshana, is you could be scared of his ass, but that gun ain't. See, all men are men until they get a gun put out on them, and then they come into complete bitches. Okay, so you got one or two things. You can either scare him, and he knows that you got that, and he'll leave you alone, or he may be like, well, girl, you ain't going to use it. I dare you to use it. What's good? And then you got to make an example out of him. Either way, I just feel as though you need to blow his brains out. But that's just me. Now, I ain't trying to turn nobody into no mass murderer or nothing like that. I'm just saying. Because if it was me, I would have been ran that fuck ass man over with my car a long time ago. But again, I'm not trying to turn nobody into no mass murderer. That's just me. So Autumn goes to use the bathroom down to Mercedes' crib, and she sees Terica's would-be room, and Mercedes open up about how she wants to get her daughter back. I loved that scene. See, it's funny because most of the times when you don't like somebody, you never know how much y'all really have in common with each other. And that's basically the situation between Mercedes and Autumn, or Haley, whatever y'all want to call her. They didn't like each other, but it turns out that they had the most in common out of everybody. You know, both of them had daughters. Both of them lost their daughters. And I agree with what Haley, Autumn, had to say. At the end of the day, I can't get my daughter back, but you can. And you don't need to stop at nothing to get her back while you still have a chance. And I was with her on that. Terica, you ain't the Terica that... Never mind. We gonna move on. Andre calls his wife and tells her, and she tells him that God Daddy might be upset about the deal that he closed because it wasn't the deal that he wanted. And she was basically telling him how where he's from ain't his home, that his home is down there in Atlanta with her. And that really pissed him off. That really made him feel some kind of way. And he had to get off the phone with Miss Girl. You know, hey, but you look, listen, I guess they the Huxtables because she's a doctor and he a lawyer. So I don't know. But she was real pretty though. And I loved her wig. Eloise goes to the club to talk to Uncle Clifford about what she heard, and she tells him that the only thing that could stop the casino from being built is the whole townhouse to vote on it. Now listen, it's hard enough to get these African Americans around here to vote for the school board and for the mayor and every damn thing else, let alone to try to keep a casino from being built. But I think they might have a shot because it's not as if this club hasn't helped a lot of girls get to where they are. I mean, look at Eloise. You understand? So it might work. Uncle Clifford puts up the club to get Patrice out of jail for a favor now because she owes him. Myself personally, I wouldn't trust Patrice no further than I could throw her, but hey, whatever floats your boat, Uncle Clifford. So Autumn calls Andre and she tells him that she's leaving. And then Mercedes Plug sees Autumn's missing person picture hanging up outside the corner store, and that was the end of the episode. So we have 2 more episodes left. And it's going to be a doozy because Autumn's husband is done caught up with her. And the girl, I really ain't want to assume that was Autumn's husband. But Abby got my ass together when I had asked that question, girl. I thought she was going to jump to the computer screen. I was about to say, hold on, sis, rare. Okay, not everybody thought that evidently because I asked the question. But I'm just playing. Shout out to Abby. I love you, sis. We can hash that out later. I love you, boo. But y'all jump down in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about the episode. It was really good. Can't wait to see the next 2 episodes. Can't wait to see how everything turns out. I gave you your review. You better be grateful. You better be thankful. And I love y'all. And I'll talk to y'all tonight when it comes to Marriage Boot Camp. Bye.
What you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business.